Hello, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to look at how to create a dashboard in Excel. So take the first 2 minutes to subscribe. Yes, thank you for subscribing. So today we're going to look how to create a dashboard in Excel, and the first thing that we should know, we have to create a pivot table and we have to create a pivot chart. So with a pivot table and a pivot chart, we are able to create our dashboard successfully. So we'll create the pivot table, which will help us now to create the pivot chart. So let's dive in. So the first thing we'll do is to create a new sheet here, and we are going to click on this one and then come and insert and say pivot table, and then table range, you click here, click anywhere, then Control A to select the whole table, and then OK. Then I want this table to be for department. I put department on the rows, and then I want the salary to be on the values, and I want the salary to be in currency and average. So I click on this, you see here on the values. So this drop down arrow, click on it, click on value field settings, and then click on average, then change the number format to currency and to decimal places. Okay, and then okay. With this one, I want us to create a 3D pie chart. So I click anywhere in that pivot table, and then I'll click on pivot chart here, pivot chart, and then I want us to create a pie chart, and I want a 3D pie chart. I click it, and then I say okay. After clicking it, the next step is to click here, right click, sorry, and click on hide or feed buttons. The next thing is I want to change this from being on the, I want to change the format and the chart style. I click on that, then I come here and design, and I prefer this one. I also prefer having this pie chart having data values and percentage. So I click on the plus sign there, come on, I click on data labels, then click more option. I want value and I want percentage, and with that we have our first chart. I want this chart to be in, since it's a professional dashboard, I change the title to average of monthly salary by departments. And then I click on it, and I want it to be font 12 and Times New Roman. So with this first chart complete, we now create the next chart. I will click create a new sheet, then click on insert a pivot table from table range. Our table range is the datasheet, employee datasheet. Click here, then click anywhere, then Control A, then OK. For this one, I want us to use department. Let's use the same to department, but instead of using salary, let's use gender for it. And we want average. So we want to find average age for each department. Value field setting, I want it to be average. Number format, I want it to be number. I want it to be in decimal places. Okay, and then okay. Click on it. This one I want to create a bar chart or clustered column chart. I will click on anywhere inside the pivot chart, a pivot table, sorry, and then click on pivot chart here. And I want the clustered column chart, and then I click OK. As we did there, click here, and then hide all feed buttons. Then add a title, which is average of age by departments, and then add axe titles, and this one is average of age, and at the bottom we have departments. The next thing is to change this to font. Change it to font 12. Make it Times New Roman, and then delete the data. We don't need the total. And then the next thing, since we are dealing with a pivot, we are dashboard, we want each color to be unique. So I decide to change this color. This one I will put it to be this green. This one I put it to be this green, and this one this light blue here. I want it to have this blue, and the last one I want it to be purple. With this different color, we are making our table to be much more interesting, much more appearing and professional. So after creating that one, we are going to create another sheet and insert a pivot table as we do. Click insert here, pivot table. From pivot table range, on table range, we are creating on this data set. Click anywhere, then Control A, select the whole, and then OK. And with that, we have the next one. I want, instead of using department, this time I want to use city, and I want to find monthly salary average, and I also want to find average age per city. So I will click here on age and I change it to average. Number format, I want it to be number, and I want it to be decimal places, 2 decimal places. Okay. I also want to change the monthly salary to average, and I want it to be currency. I didn't change the number format. Click on value field setting, number format, currency. Okay, now with that, click in here, and now I want to insert a combo chart, and we click on combo chart here. And the combo chart, I want the average of it to be on secondary axis, like that, and I click OK. Then right click here, hide or with buttons. The next thing is I want to change this one, the format legend. I want it to be at the bottom. Okay. The next thing I want is to add titles and access title, index of charts. I want the chart to be average of monthly salary and age by city. And then I want this one to be monthly salary into bracket average and down here is city, and the secondary axis we have age. Let's just type average of age. Then I have to make it Times New Roman, so I make it 12, and then I make the font to be Times New Roman, enlarge it a bit like that. I can move it here. I can insert like that. Also remember we want it to be appearing, so I change this color to the usual green. Let's change it fill to this green, the next one to the next green, to the actual green, and then this one I'm changing it to light blue, and the last three I'm changing it to purple. With this we are making sure that the dashboard will be much appealing and easy to interpret. Also it makes it look smart professional. So far we have 3 charts. I want 4 charts and I want table. So I create another sheet and I will add the pivot charts and pivot table. So click here on pivot table. From table range, as usual, it's a salary data set. Click Control A and we have it there. Now this one I want it to be, we can decide to have count. We can decide to have experience and education level, and year experience of years, like that. Instead of sum, I want it to be average. Field settings, average. Number format, I want it to be into decimal places, number. Okay, and then okay. And with this, we can click here, add a pivot chart, and then we have to, I don't want this one, I want a bar, like that, and then I click okay. With this first thing, right click, hide all feed buttons, and then add access title. So at the bottom we have average of experience years, and I want this one is education level. And the title will be average of experience years by education level. Remember, you don't need this total, then click on it and delete it. And then we need to change this has two different colors. So let's fill this one with the usual light green. Fill light green. Sorry, it has to be light green. This one is the green, actual green. And this one will be the light blue. Also remember to make this chart to be 12, font 12, and Times New Roman. And you can resize as you want it to be, like that. Now since we have 4 tables, I just create I will create the 4 charts. Now I create the last table. I click here insert, and I will click the format, the for table range, then come here, click anywhere, then Control A. Okay, and then I want it to have department, and I will want it to have city on the columns, and I would like now to have monthly salary, that one I think doesn't, did not appearing. Let's just get back there. So I have like that. I have gender. I want to have the average for each, average gender and average experience. Let's add everything, even experience and education level. And yeah, with that I think those are enough. We need to add the count of city. Let's see if it makes sense. Yeah, it's okay. That's fine. That's fine with me. That's fine with me. Yes, so I want the counts are okay. I want to change this one to be sum. Instead of using sum, I want it to be average. Go to settings, and I want it average, and I want it to be in a currency. Okay, and okay. Also have to change the age, since having a sum of age doesn't make sense. So I want it to be average, number format here. Then you have to be number, 2 decimal places. Okay, and then okay. Then we have to change this one, the sum of experience, and we also want average, number format, number, and you want it to be 2 decimal places. Okay, and okay. And with that, we have all that we need. Note, these ones I've thought. If when you when you're creating the dashboard, it's upon you to be much creative. Think of what I want this graph to be of this. How many graphs do I need? Yes, everything is all factored by you. So after creating those charts and this table, I click on new sheet. I double click on it and I type dashboard, and then I will start now going back and cutting all the charts. I started the first chart on sheet 1. I'll cut it and I'll paste it on the dashboard. Can paste it. Let's start here. I go to sheet 2. I copy this graph, cut, not copying, you're cutting it and pasting it here. Then go to sheet 3, the same, cut, paste it here. Then sheet 4, cut, paste it here on the dashboard. We go to the last one, is it the table? I write the table as it is. Sorry, cut, and you're going to paste it down here. Sorry, I want it to be at the midpoint, so let's paste around here. Yes, now with all that being done, now we have to decide this one so that to make it much appealing. So the first thing is to make this graph smaller, like that, but not smaller. You have to make it much appealing. Despite making it smaller, you have to make it make sense. Not just like that. I think that makes sense. You can drag this one here like that. Yes, it makes sense. Looks much appealing. Even these ones we have to size it like that, and I want to fit like here. You can put it up a bit. No, like that. That is much better. You can try to make it a bit smaller so that it can be like that. Yeah, that's fine. Also do the same to this one. Make it a bit smaller, sorry. Like that. And then pull it up. But then we have to delete all these rows so that they let's cut it again so that it doesn't look much off. I think that way than here will be much better. And then we have to make it visible. Like that. Like that. And for the table, I think it's taking a big chunk of our spreadsheet. So let me just cut it. Let me undo this. You know what I'll do? I just make the table to be smaller. Cut and let's paste it there back. So instead of having all that, we can just select the one that I think they're much important. I think these are the most important, these three: the city and actually there's no need of having that table. Let's just have the glass. Yes, like that. But I think, yeah, let's have the table so like that. The next thing is we have to, I want to increase here by adding, is that a row? Sorry. Insert. We have to click here and insert. I think I need to insert a row, and then I'll type here employee salary dashboard, and then I will from here to here I will merge and center. I will increase the font to a bigger font like that one, and then make it Times New Roman, and then I will highlight the whole part up to here. Actually, yes, and then insert thick borders, and then come to view. I will change guidelines, click here so that it doesn't have guidelines like that, and then on here click thick border, and then we can make it bold, and then we can highlight the whole part like that, and then we want to fill it with, I prefer this grayish, that's much better. And then we have to insert new rows here. I want to insert a new row so that we can be able to insert slicers which will help us connect these data values. So I will click insert like that, and then I will come here on insert, and I'm going to insert pivot chart analyze, and then we are going to insert slicer, and I want it to be on department. I want to no reduction level, and I want it for gender and city, and then I click OK. And then now it's my duty to arrange them well. I want to arrange them here. I'll make it short so that the other can fit. Click on this one, make it short up to here, insert this one too, and make it also short so that we can be able to fit the other one. And then this one, you can make it short like that. With that, you can now click and click all of them. So click the first one, depot connection, and tick all this. tick all these values, click OK, go to the second one, report connection, tick all the pivot charts and pivot table, all the pivot table you see, and click OK. The third one the same, report connections. By reporting connection, we mean we want that anything we do on one slides is able to be observed on all the charts. Do the same for the answer report connection, tick all of them, click OK, and we have done all that is needed. Now with this we have our pivot, our dashboard. We can make this shade, I think a shade of which looks much better. What about that one? Makes much sense. Yes, and also I want to delete this row. It doesn't need to be there. I think don't want a lot of space. Yes, and also can delete this one here to eliminate that space, and then I'll highlight back and ensure it sticks like that. So with all this, we have been able to successfully create our dashboard, and that's our dashboard. With our dashboard, it means that if I want to see only value for one department, when I click on this riser like this, finance, the data that will be on each graph will be for finance. Let's do the example. Let me click on finance. As you can see, I'm only seeing the values for finance in everything. If I want for high school, I only did the other for high school, and you can see the changes in the whole in all the charts. Thank you, and that is how we create a pivot chart. So please subscribe for more. In case you have a question, just comment here and I'll respond as up. Thank you for watching. See you soon.